zostawiłeś. Kocham Ciebie bardzo. Dlaczego mnie zostawiłeś? Kocham cię bardzo.
Hello, traders. Welcome to an extremely dramatic Friday live stream where we are in the last 60 minutes of trading before the daily candle close in crypto. Typically, that's what we try to do here, and it is a scam coin bonanza. Such a violent pump on the lesser thans, the small caps, not the largers, not the majors. Not really. Some did, right? I mean, like not Ethereum or Solana or Bitcoin or XRP. They had good days, decent days, but nothing like what we saw on Filecoin. I mean, you name an S coin, it was probably up double-digit percentage points. And we're just going to spend a little time this evening looking at them. Did it do anything to reverse the trend? Is it real? Is it going to sustain? Do we have new altcoin season, bro? Or is it just the people that rug pulled and made? Who even knows how much money they made? It looks like that money made went into altcoins to pump them. I wonder if it's going to be like buyer-inducing rallies to get people just to knee-jerk, start bidding on these jokes that are up 25% today, 50%. Or if they're just going to keep pumping it. I mean, we'll take a look at them. So good to see you on this Friday evening in Miami in 4K. If your video settings are not in 4K, go ahead and do that. Okay, you want the cleanest, clearest, crispest Japanese candlesticks you could possibly get. That's why we got it. All right, so let's just start out with Bitcoin. You can see above my head that 4 hour we were discussing yesterday, a retest of that support. Freaking perfect. They did it this morning and at the opening bell on Wall Street. And from there, Bitcoin has rallied 2.3% or so. You were at the highs of the day in the past, I don't know, hour and a half. But pretty tame. Right, nothing crazy here, nothing insane. I mean, you would think if they're confirming a bottom here, you're probably gonna go test the top of the or the next inflection zone, right? I mean, they've tried 3 out of 4 days here to break it and they failed. So, I mean, wouldn't the next target be 106? I would think 106 all the way to 108.5. We're lucky, maybe 109.358. Unless we just completely whipsaw again, completely just bamboozle in reverse. I'm not sure if we're going to get that on the weekend, but I would imagine, you know, with what happened today, you know, there's going to be some big pullbacks this weekend, but maybe there's going to be a couple that actually keep going. Be wild to see. Like maybe Dash, you know, Dash pulled back today of all of them, and it's probably going to have a crazy weekend. So anyway, unfortunately, nothing's changed outside of buyers defending a key level again. You know, still trading at the same price you were trading at November 4th, and November 4th was the lowest price we had seen since late June. So no trend reversal, no actual engulfing candle, just one thing is good. They defended a level that we desperately needed. My God, it had to happen. Okay, so that's it. Not crazy on Bitcoin. It wasn't the story of the day at all, but it's the largest market cap crypto that exists, so we look at it first. All right, let's look at Ethereum real quick. Ethereum, same thing. Just, I mean, it's cool. It's up, dude, 4%. No one's like, you know, gonna crap on Ethereum for being up 4%. And they are trying to recapture that 200-day simple moving average. They did that on the 5th. They lost it yesterday. Today they're recapturing it. Hey, at least you're going for the highest daily candle close since the 3rd. Multi-day highs. What? Oh my God. You know, I'd imagine if they're in a bullish engulfing candle too. So why not go test 35.20 to 35.80 at least? A support, resistance, support. resistance. Why not go test that formally as resistance this weekend? I think that would be, there'd be nothing wrong with that. That would be probably the most common, normal thing that could ever happen to Ethereum at this point. Go test 3520, 3580. Not sure how the test is gonna go, right? They may ace it and break it. They also could test it respectfully and reject it. But I'm just thinking, like, where we are in between levels, they virtually, I mean, they almost took it perfectly down to the inflection zone 3K. They hit the 1618 of this wave structure, and that's where you've rallied. So let's go test 3520, 3580, see what we're made of. They break it, my God, you might have a date with 3950 again. It's just all about the ifs. Okay, so that's where we're at on Ethereum. Again, nothing crazy, just a normal Friday, up or down for your bigger cryptos. Okay, you would look at these and say, like, you didn't know what was going on in the rest of the market. You'd look at these and be like, oh, it must have just been a tame day for S coins, right? Just they're probably up 3-4% too, maybe 5-10% max. Then we can look at BNB up, just, I mean, it's great, bullish engulfing candle. Looks like they're trying to go test $1,000. I think at this point that $1,000 is psychological. If there was a real inflection point, maybe you could say 1,050 to 1,082. So a tame day, nothing notable. Like, it's like if the rest of the market was like this, I probably might not have even gone live. I'm just being real. Friday night, bro, like for this, nah. But for altcoins, the S coins, yeah, I'll definitely go live just to, we can look at them together, right, and assess the meaning and the purpose of the pump. All right, nothing burger on BNB, even though great 4% candle. I like it, man. XRP up 5%, nice, but I just spinning the wheels, right? They're where traders are settling up every day, where the opens and the closes have been since the like that was the first target of the trade setup posted October 28th or so, 27th, 28th. Hit you first target, shorts covered, and then Bitcoin defends support. It's above my head, and it's just where it was. What day is it? My God. The 7th, that's where it was 3-4 days ago. Again, nothing of note. Not worth going live for to even talk about. No trend reversal, not even making a higher, 45 minutes, so of course anything can happen. They could engulf it, you come in strong, but not even making, at this point, if it was this close, if it closed now or lower, it would be a lower close than yesterday's open, a lower close than the 5th's close. Nothing. But cool. All right, up 5%. That's freaking amazing, man. Okay, I'm not taking it away from XRP. Congratulations. Solana up about 5%. Something a little nicer here. They're working on potentially an engulfing candle. They're working on recapturing 160, 162.50, a key inflection zone. It's not a joke. You recapture that, magical things can happen. You can go on big runs. You go on big runs and you come and back test and go on big runs again. You can go on decent runs, pull back test it, and run and try, and then fail. But like this is a big zone here, so they're trying to recapture it. I hope they're not just going for a second test like we talked about. Like tested once, maybe they're doing twice. I hope not. You better hope that like Bitcoin doesn't okay. So on the 4 hour, it looks like they recaptured it. Very nice, and they're formally trying to regard this candle as support. So that's good, man. That's good. But they aren't really taking out the high from the 5th. Right there. So a little bit more notable. You clearly can see it looks like Bitcoin a little bit, right? Like one low and a second low. They attempted to sell it, and then the bids came in. They confirmed a bottom for now, and they've recaptured and are reconfirming a level of support. So that's pretty good, man, on Solana. A lot of work to be done, but let's just hope Bitcoin holds up. I would think if they confirm the bottom on Bitcoin, it would just be nice to see, all right, fine, let's get a more resounding rally after the second test and run to 107. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Okay, so those are your bigger cryptos. That's like, right? Just another day. Just another day. But then the story changes dramatically. All caps, exclamation marks, many different symbols, okay? But dude, what about Filecoin? It was up almost 100% today. It pulled back. This one to me was so fascinating because it was like trading at all-time lows, but somehow someone was making a market on it where they were respecting this channel. I thought it was I was just continuing to plot it as a joke when I scanned. And like, as you can see, after they rug pulled it to zero virtually, you know, that they closed it, the price up in this channel. And you can just see testing. And right there, after finally testing too many times, they just crazy candle yesterday. It was up 35%. Today it's up 74%. So it's up over 100%. It's over doubled in less than 48 hours. And I mean, just like that, they have recaptured the old trading range where we had an incredible trade setup back in the day. I mean, back in October 2023, it was magic. There was still liquidity. There was still enough liquidity in crypto for TA to be respected, like where structures could develop over time. And then, you know, you could get them to play out and perform well. And then too much time went by, liquidity got drained out of the system, and then just like potential M shapes just before we could even say bullish Gartley, bullish bat, they were like pretty much invalidated. You know, it was just, things has changed in the market until today, right? And so now you're back above 297, 285. I mean, maybe they close it above that, and in the coming days they re-regard this level as support, and then maybe we're back, dude. Maybe there's a chance. Just after, again, think about how crazy this is. I'm not kidding. 4 days ago, lowest daily candle close in the history of Filecoin. 4 days ago, lowest low ever seen by human beings on this asset. That happened. Terrible trend. No true structures that we study, that we invest in ourselves and we learn about so we can give ourselves a good reward to risk trading plan. None of that. It was literally, you walked in the casino, everyone's been losing, everyone's somber in the casino. Just visualize it, man. You walking in, everyone's just crying and sad, and then just lo and behold, over there in the corner of the room, there's just like this nice lit Filecoin machine, and you walk over to it, no edge, just with some quarters. You throw them in, you pull the lever, ding, ding, ding. Hold on, let me see if I can enhance this a little bit, okay? Yeah, let me see if I can do this, all right? My God, dude, just give me a sec. We went with the Filecoin machine, and we did it, man. You hear that? The sounds of the crowd, of the coins falling, or they're pumping. That's what we got today. And it wasn't just there. It was a continuation for the ones that had been running. It was the Zcash. Nah, man, we almost got 600. I think we'll get 600. Why not? Dude, you're in no man's land at this point. They might, maybe. At this point, you just got to be like maybe, right? They have reversed it before a couple times at 558. But if they break that, I mean, you're looking 667 all the way to 738. I mean, you're getting nuts, okay? It's getting real crazy here on this asset. It's been doing great, man. And that was just that was your single largest candle of this entire rally. How about that? Up 34, 35%, $139. Amazing, man. Going for your highest daily candle close on Zcash, like the days of old, since January of 2018. Remember January 2018? That was the last month of the ICO boom we ever saw. Remember XRP, January 2018, all-time highs. Ethereum, it was like, I remember vividly the way the candles were on Ethereum. It was like the algorithms and bots just had this like up-tempo march, bid, auto bid, auto bid. January 2018, here we are, back. I mean, this is like back to the effing future on the Zcash. Amazing. Okay. So I hope y'all having a good Friday. We're gonna keep looking at these coins, man. If you're asking about the stock market, it was a incessant selling all day till early afternoon, and then we got a big bounce, a huge bounce. You can't even believe Nvidia was down nearly 5% and ended up closing positive on the day, and is even up a little higher after hours. Freakish resilience. Or maybe the money printer. I don't know, man. Plunge protection team, seems like they're still working with the government shutdown. My God. Whew. You're getting a Verge coin. Yeah, well, that probably pumped too. That's not on my watch list anymore. Hot coin up 25%. Hey, cool, dude. They tested 5/100ths of a penny. What's that? Oh, just old levels from just 5 years ago. It's a big deal, though. I mean, that's spring back test. That's genius stuff right there. But it seems like here you are. You know, they tested it. Think about it. I mean, this is how crazy. This is how. Don't feel bad if you didn't get in on this move today. These assets 4 days ago were making all-time lows, 5-year plus lows, 8-year plus lows just days ago. There wasn't really any rhyme or reason to it, not based on the framework taught here that has made us successful as traders. And that's okay. No one said that you have to have an edge, you have to have structural developments that are perfect for them to pump. No one said that. It's just more of a coin flip situation. So that's what happened. GRT, pretty cool. They took it down to what? What'd you do just on the 4th, just 3 days ago? You hit your second lowest daily candle close in history. 3-year lows. But hey, man, at least out of support, they tested a couple times. That was a nice candle in retrospect. I mean, who would have thought? But like, that is a perfect, I mean, beautiful. It should be in a textbook. Dragonfly doji. Okay. We're dragonflying. Some TA respect on the Dragonfly doji at key support. That's cool. But again, it's not like any evidence of accumulation. In the end, there was bullish divergence. The bullish divergence was literally made today. Like, you can't see the divergence. It just, oh yeah, it happened because now we pumped 25%. Yeah, okay. So again, really hard to decipher how it happened. It just did. Okay. Theta coin, I don't know. Look at this. Like, again, like, what was it? 4 days ago, lowest daily candle close seen on Theta since effing 2020. We're talking over 5-year lows just days ago. And then it just randomly pumped 25%. That's cool, dude. Guess what? Still going to be closing lower than October 29th's high. So it's just like, can't really get excited about stuff like that. Even though I hope to God, man, you just knew. You were prophetic in your decision to go long on Theta coin yesterday or the day before. Genius. Smarter than me. Very much. I mean, like, right? We don't even try to make calls here. We just try to identify structures, the conclusion of the structures, and their correlation to key levels from history, with maybe a few oscillators helping us determine if, sellers are exhausted or there's going to be continuation implied. And that's it. We say we have an increased probability, and a lot of times it's just like 65% chance, maybe even 60. But dang, dude, people going long yesterday, day before, on coins like this where they're not at supports. I mean, maybe a couple were. They're making their lowest levels in years. Man, you got it, man. Oh, everybody okay in there, man? Y'all freaking out? Oh, okay. Someone's wanting. Okay, never mind. We can continue, man. Ethereum Classic, just hit near. It did hit a support that it's hit for years. Think about it, for 3.5 years almost. It's been a level that's been defended, and they rallied it, and they didn't even test it again. And it just pumped to hit the 200 moving average, and that's it. It's just up a lot, but you're not making a higher high, right? Trend wise, have you reversed? No. In no way has the trend reversed on any of these yet that we've looked at. And I'm just going to continue going down. We can look at them. They're all up 20-something%. I mean, this is, not all, like some are like 15, 17. Again, does this reverse the trend on DOT? Look what DOT did on the 4th. DOT made its lowest daily candle close literally since maybe ever, if not ever, then over 5 years ago. So the casino is roaring, dude. You keep hearing it every single coin we go to, man. Storage coin, ding, ding, ding. They did it, man. Yep. Decentralized storage. Look what they've done, man. They're just doing the same thing they did October 14th. They did it October 21st. They're doing it today. Testing the old support from June of this year as resistance, and that's it so far. And just days ago, you made your lowest daily candle close 5.5 years. Congratulations. I guess it just gets so destroyed that it doesn't take much to move this market when it's like this, Yeah, devs bought. It's not the devs. I think it's like the exchanges, like the market maker. I think it's like CZ. It could have very well, dude. You just don't know. At this point, the amount of fraud we've seen and the amount of shady business, it could have easily been those people that created the largest liquidation event, $20 billion in losses. How many millions of people? 21 million plus people got liquidated in a single hour. It could have very well been just those people that have the capital to do it, and they just called up a friend or two of theirs and said, hey man, go ahead and buy an S coin because we're about to pump this thing, or they encrypted a message, whatever, communicated just to enrich other people. Favors, that's what this market is. It's unregulated. There was no rhyme or reason. Not really. Maybe a couple you could try to articulate an argument, man, but nah. 5-year lows 3-4 days ago. Lowest low, lowest close. Not testing support really. And we keep going. Litecoin up 17 plus. They defended $84 again. Okay. But they just took it to the top, right? The next level. I mean, you're right up against 105 again. You're the same price you were at November 1st, October 28th. I mean, meh. Like, it's great. It's great that it is up today. But nothing's changed. No levels have been really broken. Filecoin, they did break a level. That was the only one we saw that it was, and then maybe Solana. They're trying really hard.
CZ is a made man now, a real varsity type human.
Oh, what's up, Anon, dude? Man-made, Vivacity, athlete type human. What's up, dude? Thank you. 420 first contribution, probably last.
Hey, brother, love what you
Never
do
mind.
for the community. Can you please run a chart on Dollar Arrow? Looks like on the 4-hour there's a breakout of a triangle pattern. Cheers.
Oh boy, JR68, thanks so much to 21. Let's go, Session Top Jesus. We will look at Arrow, but I imagine it's up 15%. Maybe they're breaking it. All these ones we looked at besides Filecoin have not broken out. They've just rallied randomly, and it's cool. I'm not taking anything away from these coins for pumping, all right? KSM. Do we just need to, it's like a repeat. KSM, lowest daily candle close in human history 4 days ago. Right? All-time lows 4 days ago. It's up 16.49%. Hey, at least they're going for the highest daily candle close since the 15th of October. So not even 1 month highs after that. OP, guess what? All-time lows 4 days ago. It's up 16%. Going for your highest daily candle close since October 29th. Whoa, man. Like 7-day highs, 8-day high, 9-day highs, whatever. I'm just trying to give you perspective, right? Because I don't want you to just be like, people out there will see the green today and they will think that like we're back. When if you go by the technical framework of trends, nothing's changed. Unfortunately, it's not like I want to say that. I want to say, oh my God, this candle has changed everything. Our trend is reversing. But trends take time to reverse. And unfortunately, a lot I'm starting to see on these coins, they're not even taking out local highs from days ago. Just wiping out the losses, which is great, but I'm not trying to rain on anyone's parade. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, Tezos, hey, that's great, dude. Finally, something that was kind of interesting-ish. It already begun to pump yesterday, catching some fall. They're recapturing the 200 moving average, kind of M-shape-ish. There's an M-shape there, but it was like a 99% retrace M-shape. And what do you do about the liquidity scam? You know, like, it went to zero, 37 cents, whatever. I just, after stuff like that, you know, on a chart, it's really like, might as well just go buy Nvidia, you know, at this point. But okay, you could have been up 30% on Tezos, but how long would you have had to sit in it? Again, casino, pull the lever, going for the highest daily candle close since October 6th. Not even that impressive. Are you even making a higher high than the previous highs? You're not even. Here's a high, here's a high, they're all lower. Here's a low, they're the lowest low. So it's cool. Shout out to Tezos for pumping. Okay, let's go to Algorand. Hey, the cool thing about this, at least, okay, finally something that's kind of cool is they have recaptured 16.69 cents. That's great. Working on a bullish engulfing candle. Working on potentially a supply line breach. What would be really cool on Algorand is if somehow, some way, we could get something like this. And if you gave me something like that, then we could actually construct a trading plan where you have maximum upside potential, tight strategic stop losses, and the perfect entry with some form of a spring back test. So they have kind of tried to spring today. So now we want a back test of spring. So kind of interesting on Algo. Not actionable yet if you care about having an edge and strategizing properly, but better than all the other ones we've looked at so far. So cool on Algorand. Scott Carney might come in and be like, bro, that's a type 2 return of this shark pattern. Maybe. Or, I mean, we'll go to the weekly on it and see. It's almost like you had the type 2. All right, is this the type 3? The type 3 return? Guess above 14 cents, you're okay. I guess really above 16 cents, you're okay. Yeah, that's the zone. It's not visible on the weekly, but still making some higher lows. They're trying to put in a confirmation low. All these lows are higher than the previous low from November last year. But again, a little bit better than most that we've seen already that were better performers today. CRV is kind of interesting too. It's that same thing where they took it to a level that is so well respected. Remember back in April we saw this and it was like there was nothing like it in crypto.
Would Rose Oasis be similar to Algo?
Depends, Conrad. We'll look at the Rose. Remember Rose Coin? 2020. Its inception, I remember like it was yesterday. It put in a crazy harmonic, that and Ocean and a couple others. Bake before they rugged eventually, but very interesting on CRV here. 45 cents. I don't think they've broken the channel yet. I mean, it's a very well established channel, close, but that's another interesting one. Okay, so we're looking at Algo and CRV, first ones that are actually like interesting, close enough to a zone that's very important. Maybe they back test it, hold it. Hey, I mean, you can say now, like, it's starting to look a little bit clearer. Maybe some bullish divergence on CRV at support. That's where you're looking for divergence to mature, to be developing or completely developed, is when the asset is trading positively at or above an inflection zone. That's the same place you're looking for Japanese candlestick patterns to develop, at or above inflection zones. Context is important, okay? All right, VeChain doing things. Is it doing things? It's back in that category of most of the others we've looked at now that have pumped. Lowest daily candle close just 3-4 days ago. You can't even believe it. Since December 2020, almost 5-year lows. And now just running up to a level that they tested in October, late October, 21st, 28th. And it was regarded as resistance, and it rolled over. and now it's rallying and it's recaptured the losses. But again, technically, it hasn't really done anything impressive. I liked it at sub 15%, and I hope that if you're in it, I hope you're not in it long term. I just hope you were in it yesterday, the day before, randomly. Like, how you gonna randomly? Again, it's literally. Casino. All right, I'm just going on. I mean, all day I could go on. Atom. Cosmos. Remember when they took it to $0 on the 10th, less than a month ago? And then 4 days ago, traders settled up at their lowest point in over 5 years. See where I'm going with it? Not trading at an inflection point. Inflections at random casino stuff, and that's awesome. Divergence is developed, at least on, very good. I love the RSI there. That's great, man. But I don't know what kind of performance we'll get. Will we even make a higher high than what we saw on October 13th? Will we recapture $4? When we start doing those things, you may not even be out of a discernible swing high. It could be argued that there isn't one until you look at like $4.95, $5. That's the real swing high. Everything else is a joke. So it's tough, man. It's tough. All right, so like I could keep going and looking at all these coins, man. But it's kind of the same thing. I like Bitcoin Cash a little bit. Man, I'd be flabbergasted if on the weekend we could hold like we are in 20 minutes and then back test at least $486 to $500, hold it and start showing follow through. Because something about this one, that was a beautiful shark pattern, the way they played it out. And it was like distribution and it rolled over. But there's a key inflection zone that is, going all the way back, dude, to 2020. It's not a joke. They're trading above that. And they're trying to confirm that they're going to defend this level or recapture it anyway. Defending it's what we want to see. Defense is when they violated it. They're reconfirming it now. Or the sellers violated, the buyers recaptured. Now we want to see buyers or market participants test and successfully test this level as support again. And it might be an easy way to manage risk in this situation because your upside's massive. Your upside, if it did confirm a bottom here, slightly higher low, with a springback test, you had a good upside.
Carl tipped $25.
640.
Check out Mod. Nice daily candle today.
Those are Carl, man. Thanks so much, dude, for the 25. So this one's a lot different. My God, it's so much different than almost every single other S-coin we looked at. Yeah, so I'm actually kind of Bitcoin Cash above 483 after this could be very good. I remember Bitcoin Cash on the monthly. I tweeted about this one, and it's still a long way to go. We are a very long way to go. But eventually, they break 642, 675, and maybe we find ourselves at $1,000 in the future. So, just kind of flat for 5 months now. Good God. But more interesting than all these other ones we've been looking at for real, okay? Chainlink. Again, I do like that we're getting deeper and deeper, almost to an 886 from the previous low to high. Man, if they could just take it to 1283, it would be an 886 and a back test of the key inflection zone. They still could, because you just made a lower low. You're engulfing here, but structurally, there's nothing yet. I would love to see 1290, $13, and then we could say there's a big M shape that's completing there. So, all right, probably a channel we could plot to. I don't know how well it would be.
Hi again, mate. We saw some bounce in QQQ
nice.
End of day today. Would say it was just a dead cat bounce or buy the dip as usual. Smile.
Oh, sorry, man. Let me see that real quick. What's up, Vulcan? QQQ bounce, end of day. Dead cat bounce, buy the dip. Well, it's so interesting, dude. Like, maybe let's just go into, I've looked at enough S coins, okay? I mean, come on, give me a break. I can't look at all of them. Come on, man. Like, I gotta, I want to look at these index funds real quick. I want you to see the futures real quick, that it was nasty, and then it wasn't, and then they closed it flat. So you did lose the channel here on the futures, but I wonder if that's a bullish pin. That's a potential bullish pin bar. It just is. You know what I'm thinking, man? I'm pretty sure we're getting really I think we're getting really close to the government shutdown opening back up. Really close with the holidays. I mean, Thanksgiving's coming up, man. Few weeks, and if we have 3 more weeks of the government shutdown, I can't even imagine what airports are going to be like. Maybe unworkable for the holidays. So they're going to get that open, and I'm just wondering if that's going to be some catalyst for the markets to rip again. They're just in uptrends, markets are looking for a reason to rip higher, especially after small pullbacks like this one. I mean, this S&P from its highs, a 4.26% little correction from the high point to low point of the day today, from the all-time high we saw October 29th to today's low. That's 4.26%. So I would just say, I wonder, and if they're, what's Trump going to do? Maybe by Sunday, early afternoon or morning, okay, some announcement's going to come out, and futures are going to just be gapped up again because of good news. And that would play into our American Airlines setup, right? That's such a good long-term play. It might catalyze the genesis where we really start going on AAL. But what a strong close despite what we saw today. The VIX was up double-digit percentage points, and then it wasn't. Let's look at the Dow Jones did, in fact, lose its channel too from the original anchor points. But again, what a strong close. It closed up on the day when it was down 1.13%. Not a big deal, I know. But another 4+% pullback from the highs with a potential bullish pin bar hammer on the close. If it continues to draw down, it's really not a big deal, actually. But crazy. They did defend this October 3rd peak. They did do that. And a peak from September 23rd. So it's interesting. And look at this one, the NASDAQ futures. I wanted you to see. Oops. Real quick. Let me show you. If you augment the channel here, which, whatever. I don't try to take action on these channels or anything. Just trying to make sense of how things are. It could make sense because you get heartline respect anchoring this way, heartline on the top and bottom, respecting it. You see that you just pull it back, and you newer, where it was violated 1 anchor point 2, and then all of a sudden it's man, that makes a little sense. And then they go and they violate it, but then they close back above it within. So it's very interesting to see. And then this was a little bit deeper of a pullback than I think the spider. This was a 6.5% correction from the highs in a week. So you just wonder. Look at this. The Russ 2000. There was no controversy with this channel, right? It's virtually like they tested the demand line, and that's a hammer. I mean, they pin barred hammered it right there into the close.
Carl tipped $25. Can we also look at Singapore dollar, Sentinel 1? Nice bullish engulfing candle today and confirming a third higher low. Hope you have a G weekend, Mitch.
Carl, thanks so much, dude. We'll certainly look at that. Okay. Yeah. So the small caps, they're okay. Didn't even flirt with testing below 2368. or the channel's bottom. So, closed up almost 0.5%. Wow. After what we saw this morning. Resounding recovery. All right, those are your index funds. Real quick, let's just knock out gold. That it started out pretty good and then kind of closed, $4,000. That's like psychological. And we did close the week out above $4,000 by $1.27.5. Type in the chat. $4,000 gold again. Maybe they're trying to put in a base. You don't know, right? No structure, no strategy. It's just sideways right now. I couldn't be that surprised if they attempted a rally here, go up to a 786, 886 retrace from this high point to low point, and then maybe a lower high gets put in, and then we're screwed. Or a higher high. My God, they could do that too. So it might be trying to bottom out in the short term. Yeah, maybe. I think silver's same shape. Yeah, same thing. Closed back above 47.91, which is good. But yeah, maybe they're trying to base it out for now to attempt to rally. They'll do that after an initial drawdown. So look to an attempted rally in the coming week, possibly. Okay, real quick, want to look at coffee futures. Irwin coffee futures, cap up. Remember the cup with handle, man? This thing looks pristine. And reaccumulation. You go test 420, 425 again, which is all-time highs and all-time high resistance back from. I mean, you made an intraday all-time high October 23rd, but it goes back all the way to February of this year. But great trend, reaccumulation. There's a narrative that like EU regulators are gonna really begin like cracking down on where they import their coffee from, and they're gonna be all these deforestation methods, like they have to be certified how it works, and if it is, they're not going to accept the coffee. So that could be. And then apparently crops are failing in South America for coffee production. So there's maybe a lot of like narrative and catalyst on why coffee futures might break out. It's been consolidating literally for 10 months now. So just have your alert set up, be ready for that. That's the only commodity I really want to go into. I do want to just look at like the Mag 7s. Let's look from worst to best, okay? So we can like end on a good note of looking at the 7. Tesla, if you don't know, yesterday they had their annual meeting, and the vote for Elon and his pay package is going to be $1 trillion. 76% of shareholders voted he should get that, which is great because I mean, like, people should always have the right to vote and get paid. Like, there shouldn't be judges involved with things like with matters like this for shareholders and the owner and CEO of the company. So it's good to see like capitalism, good. But you would think with everything was down kind of mild. Google was down 2%, all-time high. It's been going crazy. But I would just theorize maybe on Tesla, it being down 3.68% today, the macro at first. And it recovered some, but it didn't really recover like the rest. There were a lot of gamblers, a lot of interest on call options I think they were expiring this afternoon today, because they were betting on a pump because the catalyst of the annual shareholders meeting and Elon, the vote. So they were gambling on that, and so market makers aren't wanting to pay, so they suppressed the price. This was the only one of the 7 that had some sort of like news catalyst, news thing, that crap going on, people betting today, yesterday. So that's kind of my thesis on why it was down. They did unfortunately close below 439.75. So if that stays, maybe they're going to go test 414 next again. It does look like they could potentially be double topping, and I do, just for the sake of devil's advocacy, Gartley's advocacy, I guess. Look at the weekly. And you do have this, okay? You didn't quite bearishly engulf. I think you did, but they didn't actually, because it opened higher, or I'm sorry, opened lower this week than it closed last week. but infinitesimally. So it's like, yeah, it engulfed. But like, that is a perfect, like, 886 Gartley, bearish Gartley. I mean, I think Scott Carney would look at it and be like, yeah, that probably is in his software. It's so good looking. And it's been here, you know, it's been, what, 6+ weeks, maybe, since they hit the pattern completion zone, or the 886. So, but the silver lining is we're still seeing buyers trade above 414, the old all-time high from 2021. So it's still, you got that going. So all we can hope for is that if there is a move downward, if it does respond negatively, it's just going to be a gap fill around 395. They go fill the gap there. We see underperformance of the Gartley, the pivot, and a run again, because the trend's your friend. You're like in an uptrend right now. But, and eventually, so you get underperformance of the Gartley, you get a pullback deeper, but not like crazy. I mean, in fact, they could take this to the low 300s, like back to the entry of the trade setup, and it's still putting in a higher low, which is so nuts. That's how in good of shape trends in for Tesla. But let's say like that busts, that fails, you get weak performance on the Gartley at the pattern completion zone, because it hasn't really it hasn't really done anything yet. Like, you haven't drawn down from the PRZ. But what happens to failed Gartleys? They turn into crabs. And a crab pattern would be in line with a lot of analyst estimates, like price targets like 600 plus. So if we, you know, don't collapse here and don't perform really well bearishly, because that's what bearish Gartley's, you know, a bearish pattern, like good performance or mega drawdowns, big reversals. There hasn't been any sort of big reversal yet that is identifiable on Tesla yet. So if it fails, you'd probably be targeting for the mid 600s. But again, way too early to tell, because it's still very much active. It's very much right at that level. You did get a kind of a bearish engulfing candle. It was your lowest weekly candle close since October 6th. So 1 month lows on Tesla on the close. But again, no follow through, nothing yet. So it's not even real, because there's not been a reaction. You have to get reactions on these W shapes, M shapes. Flip it over. You have to get right? This has to retrace at least 38% to say it's a real harmonic. Because if not, then it's not a type 1 reaction. So it never has been, never will be. So that's where we're at on Tesla. Worst of the day for the 7. Let's go to Google. Second highest weekly candle close literally ever. Bull flag still up there. It's great. It cooled off this week, but we did see multiple all-time highs, record closes this week. So just not today, but guess what? Yesterday, the day before, were both record closes. So just sideways, consolidating, and doesn't look too great on the lesser time scales. Looks like it could be getting ready to maybe fill a couple gaps below. But nevertheless, wonderful asset. It's unbelievable. You got to love it. And that's it. No M shapes, W shapes, anything like that. Okay, you're in la land. You're in impulse mode. Tesla's not in impulse mode. It's in consolidation mode. So there's more to talk about during consolidation phases than impulse phases. So Apple is beautiful trend, held up wonderfully during the uncertainty of the morning. You know, just kind of adjusting the way the, you know, supply line 1, 2, 3, 4 tests on the top, just one on the bottom, and they just can't test the demand line on the bottom side. I think if I had an equidistant channel tool, it would look beautiful. It'd be a little busy, but you'd get like the inner equidistant trend lines testing right there perfectly. What I'm just talking about is, like, for fun, I'll just plot it for 10 seconds. Like this. See, you'd be getting the equidistant line tested. Look on the top side, even top side. It's beautiful. It's a really pretty trend. So above the heart line, sideways, defensive stock for sure. This was literally spiking. I'm not kidding. I was watching where, like, the index funds were like virtually at their lows of the day, and Apple was up like almost 1%. And it did pull back as the market started rebounding. So it's kind of inverse correlated to the macro, oddly enough. But either way, I don't give a crap if this goes to 260. I don't care if it goes sideways. This is a great long-term asset to own. The trend is so good, and I do think it's going to end up playing catch-up with the NVIDIAs, the Microsofts, the Googles of the world, where we will see fib extensions 284, 297, 316. I think at least one of those is going to get hit in the coming months. So I'm down with Apple. I like the way it looks. I love it above 260. No problems above 260. Super strong. And it hasn't shined yet. Its time to shine is not here. One day, I'm not kidding, one day it will be a headliner. NVIDIA's been a headliner. Google's been a headliner. Microsoft was a headliner for a very long time this summer. It was unstoppable. But see, Apple on the weekly, it was not quite an all-time high. It was the second highest weekly candle close we've ever seen. Oh, and by the way, for Tesla, it was amongst one of the highest closes ever, top 7. But anyway, let's go to Microsoft now, which I can't believe how well I painted the eye of Sauron here. But man, what a bad week. Earnings follow through. It was a dark cloud cover last week, and certainly a follow through candle. But at least the good news for the potential double top bros, no confirmed double top, right? The neckline has not been breached yet on it. 492.50. You got to break that with a candle close. And not until then, because they could defend this and rally. But even if they rallied it, you still got a lot of... You can't just rally like this and then put in a lower high. Oh, man. Don't do that. That would be like confirming distribution.
You expect our pal Paul to follow gold and silver for the most part?
Oh, yeah, or play catch-up, Anonymous, yeah. Do what some of these S-coins did, catch-up on palladium, because at least we have Fibonacci retraces and all that. I mean, gold and silver had been in price discovery, so silver's not in price discovery, but gold certainly been in price discovery. Yeah, I mean, I can try to look at palladium. Thank you, dude. Just trying to get these Mag 7s. I know it's Friday night. I'm typically like going to dinner and stuff, but I thought it was really, I thought people would just be like interested to see like what did the altcoin pumps mean and the conclusion of the week of trading on Wall Street. So we're just trying to get the bearish engulfing candle confirmed on NVIDIA. Bearish engulfing, and it all happened where? At the above the 1618. What a freaking close, dude. Like you're talking about. It closed up on the day after being down nearly 5%. 183.40 was defended successfully. The buyers really came in, and they even maybe put in a higher low. They did. Like if it held here and started rallying next week, they'd be putting in the highest low in the history of freaking NVIDIA, which is just typical, I guess, because this is the best asset in the entire world, just is. So it's up 1% after hours. Magnificent recovery in the second half of trading today into the evening. We're still a pre-market or after hours trading open until we got another hour of after hours trading. So this continues to just meander higher. All right, Meta. What a bullish hammer. I mean, they need follow through next week for sure. Okay, like you can't just say it's a bullish hammer by itself. It has to. We have to get a higher daily candle close next week on Monday, Tuesday, for it to be valid. But they took this thing nearly down to $600, which is a key. They did test, like, because they overshot initially. If you look and see, isn't that an original first time they ever saw $600? 602.85 right there, October 7th, 2024. They did successfully test that as support, and you had some, obviously, limit orders were there. So I don't know, that's enough, man. And there's no way you're getting out of this downtrend anytime soon. Like they could go on a face-ripping godlike rally and take this to 691, and guess what? It could start rolling over, and it would be the lowest high of the newly established downtrend. It's just insurmountable adversity, like a lot of altcoins. So different situation on this one than others. But it was up today after it had made its lowest price since May 9th. Gross. Go to the weekly and see it. The weekly is nasty. That's nasty, dude. Yep, down over 16% in 2 weeks. That's kind of a falling three methods right there. Good God. Dramatic. But yeah, you can see the level. They held it for now. All right, Amazon starting on the weekly. Highest weekly candle close literally ever. And you can't even believe it for what happened, you know? Yeah, all-time high close on the weekly on Amazon. They defended successfully the old all-time high from February as support. They did that. I mean, hype in the chat. You stay above 242 long enough. I mean, you got your fib extensions, just like Apple. 263, 274, 290. Those are your targets up there on Amazon above 242, given enough time. But yeah, they did lose all those gains from the earnings. But man, not from all of them. Sorry. They, like the price discovery, they had to pull it all the way back to test, which is cool because that breakaway gap still certainly could be very real. Up after hours. All these are up after hours. So anyway, I just want to look at those real quick. Okay. Let's look at these requests real quick. Okay. Hope y'all are, again, having a wonderful Friday evening. Thanks for being here. The daily candle closes on crypto. It just occurred moments ago. I guess I'll just look at that real quick. Okay. Bitcoin. There it is, dude. Guess what? Highest daily candle close since 2 days ago. You didn't engulf. Nothing of significance occurred outside of another successful test of 99.3. They've tested it 3 out of the past 4 days. Okay. I mean, then fine. Send it with follow-through price action to the next resistance and show me what you're made of, market participants of Bitcoin. Show me. Because this isn't enough, even though it's great. It's okay. All right, we got a weekend in store. Filecoin already up 2.6+%. Hype in the chat, man. The problem is the bigger coins are just like Bitcoin. There just was nothing about them that was of significance. Right? Look at Ethereum. Hey, a bullish engulfing candle and the recapturing the 200-day simple moving average. You got that going for you, which is nice. Okay. Nothing. I mean, just then go to 35.20, 35.80 for a bearish back test. Things get spicy on Bitcoin, then take it somewhere randomly, 3700s. But you're in such a bad position here, trend-wise. It's going to be very hard to overcome and reverse anytime soon with what you got going. So, something crazy would have to happen to reverse this trend that is established. Sellers have been in control of the asset's momentum for a while now. Okay, just wanted to look at those. All right, now I'll get to these requests. Okay. Okay, so we can look at the first request, which was okay. Look at him, just Aerodrome Finance. I mean, the request was from JR, and looks like the 4 hour there's a breakout of a triangle pattern. Man, well, I mean, the daily there is a supply line that maybe they breached. 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, they're breaking a supply line here. It's probably like a channel, probably a really well-respected channel outside of the largest liquidation event in the history of crypto, that they took it to 20 cents or so. But you can clearly see they did break out, confirmed. Yeah, nice little channel there. And it seems like they tried to defend this swing low of 73 cents. So you had a bullish engulfing candle. They recaptured the 200 simple moving average. My issue, right? Like a lot of these other ones, it's like they just took it back up to levels seen 3 or 4 days ago. And a dollar is a major psychological level for everything, but it's also a key inflection point that just can't be denied. It's so real. From 2024, it was resistance support in October, November 2024, was rejected as resistance before collapsing to all-time lows. That's the issue. To break that could be very good, but they haven't. So that's the level to beat. 102 to 106. Okay, I'll plot it as a zone, okay, real quick for you. See that? That's your breakout point. That's where they took it. They took it to the threshold, October 31st, November 1st. You see it where the candle close was right at it, and they reversed it right there, sold it off, and they tested 73 cents again, so they confirmed a bottom, which is nice. And they're re-breaking out of this original supply line, so that's all good. I mean, maybe, like, it's not a great setup or anything, but you requested, so I'll do all I can. Maybe, like, a stop loss just below the bullish engulfing candle that recaptured the 200, that broke the supply line, the breakout. Like, why in the world would you want to own Aerodrome below that Japanese candlestick's open? That's where it becomes not a valid Japanese candlestick anymore. So if you're just going to play this, then you stop loss maybe at like 84, 85 cents. No reason beyond that. They're going to go test this again, and probably it's going to break, and then you'll continue to downtrend. So that's the best I can do in this situation. I think just playing the Japanese candlestick, the breakout, the recapturing the 200. But the problem is, you want your assets to have maximum upside potential, and in this situation, as we've already established, there is quite possibly zero upside potential, because this key 101 to 106, there may be just far too much supply, and the buyers may not be able to break it. So you truly want it to be like, that doesn't exist, it's not there, and everything that we talked about is real. And then you'd have good upside to 130 plus, but in the situation, it's kind of tough. So that's the only way I could think about playing it. Stop loss below the Japanese candlestick, the bullish engulfing candle. Thank you, dude. I know it's not much, but these are scam coins, and they, scam coins that pumped, and people are excited. It is Friday night. We got the vibes going. Up here, we are over 600 feet high in 4K. And yeah, got my newer shirt on. Does anyone know, widespread panic, but does anyone know what this logo is? Like, it's a mashup between my favorite band and an old logo of something. Someone could guess. You'd have my respect if you guessed correctly. We'll see. Only real ones would know. That's why I got the shirt. All right, let's see. So Rose was a request. That is an asset I have not looked at in a long, long time. I'm certainly Ben Kenobiing this S. It's more of the same. More of what we saw throughout this live stream at the beginning. Rose song, or Rose coin. All-time lows just days ago. Bro, just... the date was October 30th. It was an all-time low on the close. They've just run this terrible trend. No one's accumulating. All they did after making the lowest low in the history of this asset is run it up to go test the 200 simple moving average as resistance, and that's it. Quite possibly putting in the lowest high we've ever seen. The lowest low, the lowest highs, now possibly another lowest high. Nothing about this in any way looks good. Technically, they stopped making a market on it, right? We had a shark, remember? How crazy was that? Look at that, man. You had a couple of them, and then they just too many coins, not enough liquidity, rug pulls, scams, liquidation events. It's over. They break supports, and then lower highs, lower lows continues, and it's just like, that's what happened. This whole market, like, the wheels fell off the entire crypto market in 2025. The altcoin, the collective altcoin market, 2025 was the year that the wheels fell off. Okay. It became like virtually untradeable because there's not enough liquidity for the market to be made, for structures to develop and then be tradable. It stopped. It was all after that election pump and dump. This was the election, all the M shapes completed, and then lo and behold, you know, like 3 weeks later, the election, and they catalyzed their big rallies, and then that was it. It was the doom of crypto after the election. The Melania, Trump coin, Haktua coins, that was it, dude. Okay, so sorry that this sucks, but hey, congrats if you were up on it, man. We'll see. Okay, let's take a look at Mod G. Topgolf. Oh yeah, I remember Topgolf. We looked at, hey, we got ourselves a rectangle breakout today, bro. Let's go, Carl. Highest daily candle close since October 18th of last year. We got over 1 year highs. Remember, this thing broke a multi-year downtrend and then began to consolidate up against a resistance that goes all the way back to 2014, 2010, 2004, 2002, 1998. Did Topgolf exist in 1990? I don't believe it did. But that level, that's why it's such a big, you broke both of them. 941 to 1014. This is huge. There's great upside here. Insanely good upside on Topgolf. And you put in like a partial decline here. Yeah, definitely partial declining. Huge volume on the breakout. Good earnings, I guess. The upside potential on this, if you were in this, sir, you're targeting 1459. So, you know, they might pull it back and back test. All's well until they break below 880. Then it's getting weird. But if you're above 941, 1014, you are golden. And your upside potential here, given enough time, it's like 36 to 37% upside. That's it. That's where you're at on MODG Topgolf. Huge development today. I mean, that's massive. That's the affirmation of good things. Great request, man, because that's a significant technical event. And we've been looking at these altcoins that are up 25%. None are putting in major technical events like MODG. Nice stuff, dude. Carol. Okay, QQQ. It's not really a formal request, but it was just like mentioned in one of the contributions, which I am grateful for. Hey, what's up, Sajobi? 4 years following, man. Thanks so much, dude. We'll look at our ARK QQ. That's some sort of a levered ETF of ARK, ARKK. Might be long, but I'll look. Probably gonna look at ARK though, if that's what it is. Just because there's decay on those ETFs, and you want to look at the underlying asset. You want to analyze the underlying asset, and then if you want to use leverage, you would just use those as financial instruments to, again, be levered on the asset it's tracking. So thank you, dude. We'll look. Okay. So the QQQ, what a freaking reversal. You can thank NVIDIA for that. That was all NVIDIA right there. I mean, it's almost the same freaking chart. Channel wise, I don't know. Let's see. Probably same thing, you know. Maybe we like plot it like that and like that. Where you just go, again, with that anchoring, that could be a perfect test of the bottom. So it looks like they overshot the supply line and rolled over. But look, man, I mean, maybe that's how it is. That looks pretty freaking good, you know. Is it a dead cat bounce? I don't know about that. It could be a very nice 5% retrace. 6%? What was it? It was a 6.3% correction from the highs. That's pretty good, man. That's like really good. That's like the most significant retrace we've seen since, bro, that's a more significant, because that was like, what, 3%? 3.5% correction in a day and it was over. But before that, we only had a 4.3% correction. We have not seen a 6+% pullback from an all-time high since the rally, really, that channel began in May, but at all since the recovery. There has not been a 6% pullback. So consider yourself like fortunate. Like that, it was the best one, the deepest one. So maybe it could be a bottom in a long-term, crazy, insane uptrend we're in, okay? I hope so. I hope this level holds on the Qs. Okay, that wasn't really a request, but again, it was cool to look at, right? Did anyone guess right on what I asked about my shirt? We'll see here. I think someone did. Yep, E-Funk. You right, man. My man E-Funk, hype in the chat for E-Funk. Big time respect. Anyone else? Sam T, Diamond Hands. That's right, dude. Hype in the chat for Sam T. Anyone else, though? Probably not. Okay, so 2 people got it. Pool Man got it, too. That's right, it is an old SEC logo. Southeastern Conference. So you like it, though? If you know what the Southeastern Conference logo, old one, was, you definitely know what Widespread Panic is. I mean, the band, they met and began playing together at the University of Georgia, so in Athens. So that's, you know, really cool. So we got some real ones here. Okay, Carl wanted also to see Sentinel one, just S. It makes me think about the Sentinelese tribe near, you know, off the island over there in the Indian Ocean. My God, dude. They're crazy. All right, so here's S. Dude, you're getting an S. I mean, it's cool that they're holding it. There's a base of buying at like $16. But I hate the fact that the asset is locally just putting these lower highs. You're still below the 200 moving average, 200 moving average down sloping. It's like redistribution going on, right? It was a nice reaction, and then like you're down here, and it's like, shouldn't there be a type 2 return? It's like, okay, type 2 return it, but don't like run up to the top of this inflection zone and just like reject it thrice, sell off, rally again, and then confirm there are less market participants that own the asset. You don't want to be like in the basement confirming less people involved with the asset than before and then roll over and you're just sitting here almost like a descending triangle. Like, what are they doing, man? So it's kind of crap situation. But yeah, in the basement still. But man, it's hard to trust this local price action. Yeah, I'm a little like side-eyed on this. It could almost just be like that. You see the lower high, you see the candle close and the test here, and then it's just like, I mean, here you go, right? Like descending triangle behavior. Why distribution with a freaking buy wall? Maybe it turns, I mean, down at these levels, like, I don't think you have an edge with a descending triangle. I mean, they could be setting up to break it to wait all the way to 1282 again. It'd be a bust, but yeah, just it could be a lot better, you know, like what's going on. Like they could be showing like 3 rising valleys, accumulation signatures down here, not like garbage distribution. So that's why I'm kind of like, ugh. Lately, locally, it's not been great. Carl. Thank you, dude. Bullish engulfing candidate, confirming a third higher low. Yeah, I mean, maybe. Like, a nice engulfing. Bullish Marabazoo, for sure. It was beautiful. I guess the only way you could play it at this point is, like, a stop below 1575 or something. That's the only way to play it now. Because if you lose 1575, you're probably going to, like, 1435 and 1282, 1345. So, Yep, that'd probably be your way to strategize if you were gonna take a shot on S. S for something, right?
Hey Mitch, if I have under 100K portfolio, would you ever hedge or short? Or just accumulate? Not asking for financial advice. Haha.
My issue with like shorting is this market, man. Like how long are you gonna, how do you strategize? Like, okay, so what I've seen in 2024, 2025 is like, if you identify bearish patterns, first off, they're not very reliable. And when they have been reliable, they might play out moderately, which some have. Like I'm scanning through them and I'm saying, oh my God, look at this like head and shoulders pattern. It sells off, maybe even comes close to a measure move. It pivots and it rips higher. Like V shapes, rips higher, or doesn't even come close to the measured move of the structure and runs so much. And it's like, good luck managing that. So for me, when things are starting to look weird, like, okay, 2022, when they confirmed that distribution on the index, I just cashed up. I didn't make any money during 2022, but I certainly didn't lose any money either. So you can hedge. Certainly you can hedge, and I think people do it very well. But for me, with the way this market is and the money printer and stuff like that, the sell-offs just, what did we just discuss this whole year since the big crash or whatever, since the recovery? The most meaningful pullback we had was like 4% minimum or maximum. And then finally, at the lows today, we saw a 6.5% pullback from the all-time high. Like, good luck in those, with the index funds doing that. Good luck finding individual assets that really can play out very well. Because you're looking for like downtrends that are established. 2022 was great. You had lower highs, lower lows consecutively. And those are, that's great to be finding bearish patterns and bearish trends, bearish macro. But it's been a lot harder this year. Like, just for instance, like, think about, okay, McDonald's. Freaking Donald's, dude. Like, bearish pattern. Look at that. I mean, it's like bearish pattern, lower highs, distribution, forms of confirmation. It sells off. Can't even really get to the A point or C point, which is like good performance. And then rallies all the way back up and just hits resistance. And then it's starting to sell off again. It's a lower high than previous high, by the way. But then much higher low than previous low. Then lower high, but then higher low. And it's like, you still have no idea. It was April. You still have no idea which way this is going to break. And it's probably long-term going to break upward. So it's just so difficult to short. It's been very difficult to short the past 2 years. Too strong a macro. So, yeah. And like, it's not just about like hard macro. It's like, dude, when these short squeezes, I mean, you look at some of the way they squeeze on random days. I mean, they will destroy your position. Like if you're shorting actively, naked short, or you have puts, you're just underwater so fast, so violently. Yeah, tough, man. Shorting's very tough, and you really don't want to be doing it unless you have a very well-established bearish macro where consecutive lower highs, lower lows on index funds. Or like if you're going to do any sort of, I mean, like for me, like when the spider was doing beautiful stuff. I mean, it was so perfect. I covered this play by play. Go back to the February 21st, 2025 live stream. Just go back to it and see what we were talking about. Literally all of this getting ready to dump because you had like a type 2 return, then you locally had forms of confirmation, failure to break 609 so many times. It's like, and that sign of weakness, that big red candle, it's like, man, that seems like it could be the beginning. I didn't go short. I just cashed up instead. And so people can, though, they can set up shorts and have stop losses set up just above that peak and stuff. But man, it's so difficult, man. Okay. Anyway, good question, Eric Cartman. Probably tip like 50 cents for that or something stupid. Thanks, dude. It was a good question. Really good question. Real quick, hold on. Let me, this isn't a formal request. Palladium ETF. Well, we typically look at the Palladium spot. Yeah, let me just go to Palladium where I've got my data. So it's the same freaking picture, dude. Okay, so you're like, Palladium's gonna like do the same. They could take this thing freaking back down to 1250 and it'd still be fine. They could take it, I mean, the discernible swing low is 1083. So they could take this thing to 1150 and it'd still be a higher low. The trend has reversed and it's confirmed. So you're in an uptrend, you're just correcting because silver and gold, but once they start running, it's probably just going to do the same thing. Bitcoin and altcoins, right? So yeah, you're not at a level where you can strategize really. In fact, they kind of confirmed a resistance as resistance and you rolled over. You know, Thursday was the lowest daily candle. Yesterday was the lowest daily candle close since October 7th. So maybe they're going to try to defend 1341. I mean, they're trying to defend 1367. It could be something they do. But yeah, long term, I think the composite man has accumulated his position. And you're in the market, you're in phase E of Wyckoff accumulation, meaning like given enough time, higher highs, higher lows again. So anyway, yeah. Okay, it's an ETF, it's a stock. Oh, ARK. Wow, I'm crazy, dude. Because there's. Oh yeah, you're right. ARKit Quantum. Oh well, the quantum bubble has begun to unwind. So, and this is one that wow. I've been here, but unfortunately, they have failed so many times. Oh, and the Head and Shoulders. Look at that Head and Shoulders. But remember, it's very difficult because you have like an established uptrend. So this Head and Shoulders it broke yesterday, and today they've kind of confirmed it as resistance. But at the same time, as they've confirmed like the neckline nearly as resistance, you have a piercing line Japanese candlestick reversal right here today, potentially 5.85%, and then up another 3.25% after hours. I mean, like that's a and from the previous low to high, guess what? 88% retrace above the 200. You're trending too well.
Earlier, no evidence of accumulation on these shit coins. Correct. Perhaps the CZBS scam wick from October 10th was the accumulation. No, that's static trading. Absolutely not. Scam wick, where they rug pulled everyone. No, not how it works. You gotta have candle closes, man. And not just candle closes. You got a multitude of candle closes. You gotta have structures locally, higher lows. That is evidence of more than before. One scam wick, and then a lower high, and then you roll over to make multi-year lows and lower candle closes than the day of the liquidation event even, and then you rally 25%. No. You gotta have higher higher valleys than before locally, and you never got that. It was worse. So yeah, you're just sitting in a situation on RQQ, where in an uptrend, deep 886 retrace, piercing line reversal candle, potential piercing line after Head and Shoulders. Which is not the worst today, lol. Thanks for everything. Join Discord and be awesome like us.
What's up, Claudio, man? Thanks so much, dude, for the awesome chat. Kathy Woods not the worst today. Well, she got out of the hole, you know, and the market recovered. But yeah, she was certainly mimetic for a while, wasn't she? Hey, remember we got in on ACHR and then like, 2 weeks later, she started buying it. So, yeah, on RQQ, this is, I mean, just if it's a quantum play, it's an underperforming quantum stock. The trend is still bullish, but you do have like a lower high that has come in. I think there's like good and bad here, right? Where they lost a key resistance.
Can we take a look at Dollar Corner Canadian National Railway?
The answer Bald? The answer is yes. Baldas, I think you did. Yeah, so you made a lower high in the previous high, in the highest high, and then you lost a key level, which isn't good. But on the okay side is like you're making possibly the highest low of the uptrend now, and you do have a Japanese candlestick pattern. So the trend hasn't truly completely. I think the trend begins to be reversed to the downside at below $27. So I think like if this is a real candle, a retest of $39 to $41 would be in store, and then it would be it's going to be important to see what kind of data we get there, because like they could okay, oh my god, the Japanese candlestick, they run it up and they do something like this. Then it's like, you know, they're just offloading. Someone, whoever it was, is continuing to offload their position. You know, you get a third peak and it's lower, less. It's evidence that there are even less market participants involved in the one we saw late October, and then before, of course, they up thrust again through the level, right? And then they roll it over and then they reconfirm it. You get something like that. It's probably gonna be this. But I think the verdict's still out. The trend hasn't truly reversed yet. You probably that candle might usher in a rally up to $39 to $41. Okay, thank you, dude. On RQQ for Sejobi, thanks, dude. All right, CNR, was it? The CNR. We'll be having a good Friday evening with me. Typically, I'm not live on these Friday nights, but it was just, hey, man, we had to look at those altcoins. You had to be grounded. You have to be... You cannot be played by whoever it was that did what they did, okay? They know they killed the market, chat. They know they did. 3-4 days ago, collectively, 98+% of cryptos were making all-time lows or 5 to 9 year lows 4 days ago. With confirmation on the daily, they were making their lowest lows of the entire downtrend. They were making lower lows on the close than they had made even on the liquidation event, October 10th. And then they just pump it 25%. And then we looked at them and they had done nothing technically that had begun to reverse their trends. Saw a couple that were like, oh, interesting, it's at a key level, bro. But most, it wasn't like that. So keep it in mind, man. But that's why I'm here. I don't want you to get like wrecked, because you can get wrecked if you're just looking at percentages and stuff. So, all right, CNR. Actually, a pretty freaking good request, man. You know why? Because look at the level. Look at this level, $76, $79. The problem is, you should have been requesting it maybe a few days ago, like for real. Because remember, what we try to do here, the closer you are to an inflection point, the easier it is to manage risk. The closer you are to an inflection point, the more upside potential you have. The closer you are to an inflection point, the tighter the stop loss, the more strategic the stop loss you can have, the more equitable the long's going to be. So, yeah, you had a real good day. Earnings, you never know. The casino, man. Good earnings, 184% surprise on EPS. Guess what? Wow, dude. They were like supposed to lose money, and they ended up reporting that they had a positive EPS. That's kind of crazy. So big day on Thursday, 11.45%, and then today some fall through 3.34%. So you're so far away now from the inflection point, but they already were beginning to put in higher lows. Really cool. It was like, yeah, they were putting in all these higher lows, but then they recaptured the zone in late September and ran it to a higher high. Now you got a higher low coming in. What would be spectacular if you were blessed enough to ever get it would to be getting a retest like that, and that would be the ticket.
because they even tested it here once. So we don't. Okay, it was confirmed support. Scalpers came in. You're running. Earnings were good. But to get another test, the successful, that would be a more spectacular long setup. Like, it'd be easy to strategize. You'd have a local form of confirmation. You'd have like a double bottom, and then you'd have even more evidence of more than before. That would be where it's actually actionable. Right now, I don't know what you can really do right now as of the request. You know, it's up. It's 89.92 after hours. So you would want a second test if you could get it. That's the only way you could strategize optimally, okay? That's it, man. Thank you so much, dude. I don't know if that helps. Anon, dude, there was no disrespect at all, dude. What are you talking about? I appreciate the contribution, for real. Roll Tide, yeah, let's go, dude. I haven't chat for Anon. I didn't even take any at that, man. Wow. You were very respectful. What are you talking about? Oh, SoFlo, Mick, I don't know why I'm not getting some of these, the audio is not playing. SoFlo, we'll go to Etsy, through Rising Valleys. What? On Etsy? Well, Etsy already bought them, remember? That was like play-by-play on that one. Where's all my data? Oh my God. Well, I guess my data's gone. Wow. Completely gone, dude. Alright, clean slate, I guess, then. Remember the old M shape? Key levels defended. Swing high. Trying to reestablish them. I mean, anything above 53 is good. Yeah, I mean, you're uptrending. You're definitely uptrending. You're above the 200-day simple moving average of 4%, up another 1.54% after hours. Very nice. 3 rising valleys. You could. It's potential. The confirmation line, sir, is $76+. So to confirm this is a real pattern. But yeah, I mean, you are uptrending. They already put in the bottom way down here. It was the bullish, like crab pattern or whatever. And then it's like 1 and 2. I think though you could go a little lower. I think a perfect back test of 53.12 would be pristine. Because these 3 rising valleys, when I talk about symmetry, typically what symmetry means on a 3 rising valley situation is using Fibonacci to establish the swing low to high. And you can see what happened on this swing low. It was an 88% retrace. Very nice. So if we do it again from this low to the next high, 78% retrace. Not as symmetrical. If you get, look at this, man. 53.12, the key inflection point from a long time ago, history. It is confluent with that 886. So if we could ever get that, it would be like we could strategize with an entry, with a strategic stop loss, with the most upside potential. And there's no controversy. At this point, what do? It is a Japanese candlestick piercing line. I mean, you get follow through next week, it's confirmed. But it's tough because, like, you always have to think about, man, it could just keep dumping and we could get a better entry. So maybe like dollar cost average or something incrementally, but that'd probably be the best entry if you could get it. But maybe not. 786 is a deep retrace too, but like the previous low to high, it was an 886. So better symmetry, I think, if you got 53. Anyway, maybe you never get there. It's Etsy, bro. Etsy. Below 53 bucks, I don't think you want to own this asset at all. See, they take it down to 53 bucks. Your target's probably just 73 bucks again, or maybe even less. Maybe it's like, zone 70 to 73 would be your target if they rallied it. So anyway, SoFlo, thanks so much, dude. All right, chat. Well, I've been live now for an hour and 40 minutes on a Friday freaking night. So Bitcoin is just out the gate on the new day, chosen to sell off about $500. I'd imagine after a 25% day on a lot of these coins, they're going to be down 5, 10+% today. But who knows? But I just tell you, man, like the whole point of me going live was looking at a lot of them and seeing, like, did it reverse the trend? Did anything change? And most of them, no. Nothing, almost all of them, nothing has changed about them. They're still in disgusting downtrends. Just 4 days ago, they were at all-time lows. Not great, man. What a recovery on the equities market today. Yep. So thank y'all for coming out. It's been a good week. You know what I'll do is try to be back for the Sunday evening weekly stream. So just be careful out there. I'll be back. Until next time. Respect. T.A.